Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to episode 9 in our campaign game with British Tank Ace. In episode 8 we had our wildest mission yet as we knocked out 3 Italian tanks and earned a badly needed second prestige point. Let's see what episode 9 has in store for us. A quick summary of our campaign so far as we start into mission 9. We've had 8 missions so far. All 8 have been successes, although in our previous mission we probably had our closest call yet as an Italian tank just whistled a shot over our heads, almost took us out, and would have certainly knocked our tank out if it had hit. But good fortune shined on us and we're ready now for mission number 9. In our previous mission we did get a military medal for knocking out those 3 Italian tanks. That raised our prestige level to 2 and gave us our second well-earned prestige point, which will allow us to upgrade to a Matilda in September should we make it that far. But let's take one mission at a time. It's time for us now to head off into our second mission in August 1940. Let's start out by rolling for our mission assignment. We get a 7, which is movement to contact. So we'll be advancing to some Italian positions and seeing what we can knock out. Next, let's roll for our weather. Okay, of course. We're back to our dust storms. Our British military loves to send us out in dust storms. To be fair, we've had good success in dust storms so far, but those close range attacks surely are nerve-wracking, and this will be no different. Let's check out the terrain here. We get an 8, which is Wadi. Okay, so some unique terrain for us now. For the sandstorm, because I still have the misprinted chart here, I haven't got the sticker yet, we'll put the weather under snow for dust storm, and then wood starts with a W, so we'll use that for Wadi. And this will start us at close range, because we won't be able to see very well. Now comes our bigger roll. Let's see what the enemy force is. We get an 8, 1 tank, and 1 infantry. Okay, so this is a rather straightforward mission. Let's see in terms of enemy numbers. Let's first see what type of tank we have here. So we'll roll 1 die on the tank chart. We get a 4. That's the good old M1139. So we'll put that up here. And then let's roll for the level of our infantry. And this one, because they'll be attacking at close range, and they have a die roll to close assault tanks here, we would benefit from weaker Italian infantry. It's not good. 6 is elite Italian infantry, which is not at all what we wanted. They will probably pass any morale checks they would need because their morale is a 5, which means that we want no part of them close assaulting our tank here. Okay, so some dangerous opponents at close range here. I will now roll off camera and put our enemies in zone A, B, C, or D, depending upon what the die rolls are. So our infantry is right in front of us, and the M1139 is off to the right. I think our strategy is going to be like we did last time to see if we can take out this M1139 tank right away. We do have one last thing to do before we start up our mission, which is to see if the enemy infantry is dug in. On a 3 to 6, they are dug in, and they are dug in, making them harder to hit. This is actually a pretty thorny mission with this close range start against elite Italian infantry here. I'm not necessarily liking this here. But with all of this, we are now ready to start. We should just take a quick look at our tank. Here is our good old Cruiser Mark 1 A9. We'll face our turret towards the front. That's what we have to. We'll be open. At least I'll be open. Everybody else will be buttoned up. We're loaded up with AP armor and machine gun bullets. We are good to go. Let's get our mission started. So it is time for us to start, and I have a plan here. I think what we're going to do is try to protect ourselves from this infantry as best we can by moving to a hull down position. That will also help protect us against this tank should it decide to fire at us. And we're going to shift our positioning to try to take on this tank on our right-hand flank. So our first move is going to be angle the hull, and we're also going to try to end that move with a hull down. To succeed on a hull down move, we have to do this hull down after movement chart. So a 1 to 4 we're considered in the open, and a 5 or a 6 we would be hull down. Now, -1 if the driver is buttoned up, and our driver is buttoned up, but +1 for terrain for Wadi or hills. So we would still be a 1 to 4 to see, being open at a 5 or a 6 would be hull down. Let's get this tank under cover. A 4. We fail on the first attempt. Our driver does not succeed. However, now on our second action, we also have to roll to see if we are immobilized on wadi terrain here. Looks like under clear weather here, well, we're in a sandstorm, so it's rain or mud. That doesn't seem to apply to us. So it looks like same as clear weather, we would have to roll a 2 to be immobilized. We get a 5, -1 for the button driver being buttoned up. That is a 4. Still, we're good. So we're not turning, so we did not get immobilized. We're gonna now take our second action. We could fire at this tank, but I don't wanna draw attention to it yet until we can fire 2 consecutive shots. So I think our odds are better is if we wait, basically trying to get a better shot. And we're gonna use our second action again to try to move to hull down, because that will help us a lot if the infantry of the tank decide to fire at us. So we're gonna try again, a 1 to 4, and we'll find a hull down position. A 1 to 4, we fail. A 5 or 6, we succeed. So we have gone to hull down. So on our tank chart here, we'll move our A9 to hull down, and we are in good position now. However, we do need to still roll to see if we are immobilized. Hopefully Scott, our driver, can keep us free of immobilization. 6 -1, because we're buttoned up, is a 5. We are fine. So most excellent. We are in a hull down position. We're facing now this tank on our right flank, and that ends our first move. Now we go to the enemy actions, and the first thing we have to see is if they decide to pick on us or if they're engaged with other targets. Let's hope they look at other things. On a 1, they fire at us. On anything else, they are engaged with other targets. Let's roll for the infantry first. 3. We get a lot of 3s when we roll these. Good. So the infantry is busy elsewhere. The tank. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not very good at all. It's not what we were hoping for. Okay, so the tank is engaged with us, the M1139, and it's going to open up at close range. Oh, this is not good. Okay, so at close range, normally it needs a 2 to 7. Now, there was a modification. There was some errata published that said the B1 hit modifiers, instead of it being a +2 for a sandstorm, this is an error, it should be +1 for a dust storm. So we are in dust storm weather, which means that the modifier is not +2, it's +1. So that's a +1. And also, because we're successfully hull down, it's an additional +1. So it is +2 to this die roll. Still not something we want to be dancing around with here. So the 2 to 7 at close range changes to a 2 to 5. The M1139 aims at us and fires. Oh no! Oh, this is bad. This is it. It's hit us here. Our luck has run out. Oh no! Okay, so because we're hull down, when it drilled us, it is automatically on the turret, so it can't hit on the hull down, the hull armor. And now the penetration here is a 4. Our flimsy cruiser Mark 1 A9 has turret armor of 2, which means the penetration is greater than the armor, which means we are almost certainly defender eliminated, unless we roll snake eyes. That would be, we've had so much luck in this campaign. I wonder if perhaps we're going to get snake eyes here. That would be only fitting. Here we go. Oh God, not even close. Okay, and it's close range. Oh, actually it's close range, so it's +1 anyway. So it is an 11, which is DE. So our A9 here, does this even have a blown up thing on the back? No, it doesn't, but it's knocked out. We have been destroyed, and bad things happen all around. Now we need to I have to figure this out because this hasn't happened to us yet. So I'll be back in a moment. Woo! Wow, okay, this is pretty nasty here. I actually had this happen in the practice missions both times, but that was a long time ago, so I forgot it. So the first thing we have to do is on this fire and bail out chart, the first thing we need to see is if there is a fire or not. And so we have to roll on the left side, fire explosion check. If we roll boxcars, the whole tank explodes and everybody's dead. That's just immediately bad. So we're hoping for a low number here. Oh gosh. Okay, so our tank's been hit and explodes, and it's raging fire here, which means that when we bail out, there is a +2 die roll modifier on this. So our A9 is a raging ball of flames. We're trying to frantically bail out of this burning tank, and we're going to roll for each crew member. We'll start out with Lance Corporal Scott, our driver. Because the tank's on fire, our bailout chances are reduced by 2. Everybody is wounded, at least, but the question is whether they get out or whether they burn to death or not. Gleeful thought here. We roll on the bailout chart here, +2. Lance Corporal Scott goes first. He gets a 4, plus a 2 is a 6. He is out of the tank and still alive. We'll roll for wounds and things later. Let's go now to our left machine gunner, who is David S. See if he can get out. 4 plus 2 is 6. Lance Corporal Scott scrambles out of the tank and he's in good shape. Let's go to our right machine gunner, DM Tim. 4. Wow, this is amazing. We should have just shot at the tank with all these 4s. He is out without any, well, he's wounded. We'll see how badly. Now, very importantly, let's go to John W., our loader. Now, it does mention here there's +2 for loader if there is no hatch. And I don't know how I tell if there's a hatch or not here. So that took a while, but I found this picture here, and it doesn't look like the loader has a separate escape hatch. It looks like your gunner and your commander do, but the loader doesn't. So with that in mind, we have to add +4 to John W.'s escape odds here. It's not looking very good. Another 4 would be good. An 8. Oh, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. 8 plus 4 is 12. 8 plus 2 is 10. So the hatch or lack of hatch wasn't something we needed to look up. But John W., unfortunately, our loader does not make it out. And we have had our first crew member killed in action. Now comes next for me, the commander. This is a big roll here because this would end the campaign if I don't get out as a commander here. Oh my goodness, this could be over. Okay, hoping for a low roll. Oh no! Oh, I don't get out. And I'm killed. Now, we do have the stamina thing here, which gives us, but I think that's just on the wound chart. I'll have to look this up because we have this Tank Commander stamina chit here, which says you can change a kill, but I think that's on the wound chart. I don't think it applies to the escaping the tank here. Something else to look up. So under the weapons training, it says it is expended upon receiving a KIA or SW result with the KIA downgraded to a serious wound. So yes, it looks like there's no stipulation that it can't be used as a part of a bailout. So I get out, but I'm wounded instead of killed, which is wow, things have gone sideways fast here. Now we have to see the wounds for everybody else. So we're going to roll on the wound chart for Scott here. 2 to 8, it's a light wound. 9 to 10 is serious. 11 to 12 is a KIA. Scott gets a 6, so it's a light wound for Scott, meaning he will be back in action in the next time, no problems, because light wounds create no effects beyond the current mission. Let's go to David S. He gets an 8, right on the border, a very serious light wound, but a light wound there. Let's go to our driver, DM Tim, not our driver, our right machine gunner, DM Tim. He gets a 3, that's a light wound, no problem. Oh, sorry, I forgot one more thing. Our gunner, Huvian, of course. We have to roll to see if Huvian got out of the tank. I forgot. So Huvian tries to scramble out of the tank. It's a +2 on the bailout chart. 8 plus 2. Huvian does not get out as either. He goes up in flames. The turret was really heavily drilled here, apparently, because I just got out with a serious wound. John didn't make it out. Huvian didn't make it out. So 2 kills, and then DM Tim is fine with a light wound. So we have 3 crew members lightly wounded, 2 of us killed, and I am seriously wounded. Now we have to roll on my serious wound chart, which is going to create a lot of mission misses here. Wow, if we roll like a 4 or a 5, it's 32 missions. 40 missions on a 3. A 12 would be a concussion, only 1 mission. That would be good. A 2 is a double amputation. We're medically retired. Game over. Let's see what we get. Hoping for a big number here. A 5, that's not so good. I broke my arm. So we're gonna miss 24 missions. That's 6 months. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay, so I get out of the burning hull, break my arm. John W.'s dead, Huvian's dead, everybody else is lightly wounded, and I broke my arm and we're going to miss 24 missions. So I'm going to need to look up to see what happens when you miss that many missions. Okay, so I looked up all the details. When the commander is hospitalized, you come back into action at the end of that time period, and you get an entirely new crew. So our 2 crew members that are killed obviously won't come back, but the other 3 crew members are assumed to have gone on to a different tank. So we need a new crew. Now I have David T, Paul D, Angel, and G.I. Joe. We're 3 volunteers from the very first mission. If you guys are still around, all you have to do is to claim a spot. Then I'll take the next 3 people after that, or the next people that volunteer if those 3 if those 3 aren't still watching, because people drift in and out of watching the channel. So volunteers, we need a new crew, and we are going to be 24 missions out with a broken arm. So our 6-month hospital stay takes us all the way to February of 1941. That will be our next mission. And a couple things happen. It looks like that would give us 6 months of service time. We could get promoted when we come back. So that's one thing. And when we come back, we get to take a new tank of the highest prestige level we are at. We're at prestige level 2. The only tank that's available now in North Africa in February of 1941 is the Matilda II. So we'll be back in February of 1941 with a new tank, a new crew, and perhaps a promotion. I'll do the promotion roll at the beginning of the next mission. We do get an experience point for this too, so that gives us our 2nd experience point on the way to 4 experience points. so that keeps that there. And all those things, we do not get an award, we don't find any war trophies, we leave our tank a smoldering hulk and 2 dead bodies out there. John W. and Huvian, thank you for your service to the United Kingdom. And Scott, David S., and DM Tim, I wish you well in your new tank. We will fast forward in time back to February 1941. New volunteers, please, come on in. We need a new crew. See you in the next mission. I'll put a link to it as soon as it's ready.